Hello out there in YouTube land. This is Green Yamo making another gun video. Before I get started, I didn't even get into it, my first two. Any of you know what I'm referring to when I call myself the Green Yamo? I mean, there's got to be some nerds out there who get it right off the bat. I can't tell if you Googled it or not, so I'm not going to give you any prizes if you do, but leave a comment if you know exactly who or what the Green Yamo was. Anyway, this is obviously a Mossberg 500. Clear, safe, and empty. Don't work or modify any guns if they're loaded unless you like to get shot, in which case, knock yourself out. I've had this gun, I bought this gun back when I was a teenager, back in the late 80s, in the mid 80s actually. Never did anything with it. It stayed in a box or under a bed in my closet. Never had any use for it. By 1990, I was joined the police department, and I just carried handguns everywhere. I've always had this, and I've only recently shot it for the first time a couple of months ago, and I enjoyed it, and I figured I'm going to start utilizing it for home defense. I carry Glocks. I carry a Glock 19 and a Glock 26 on and off duty, but despite that, my bedside, my nightstand gun is this 44, because I'm a big fan of I'm a big believer in the make them shit their pants factor. So this is what I keep at the nightstand. And also, for me, there are no young kids in the house. I could have a gun like this around. I'm not worried about over-penetration or anything like that. I'm not going to make this a video about the best home defense gun. The best home defense gun is one that you're comfortable with and one that you can use properly. So we'll put that to bed. There's other videos for that, and I personally couldn't care less. But I'm going to take this gun and bring it a little more up to date, make it a little more useful for home defense and also for fighting zombies if that's what you're looking to do. And to do that, I'm going to replace this wood stock with this adjustable stock from Mossberg. I think it's going to look pretty cool. And seeing as how this is black synthetic, I can't run around with that on the end, and this wood forearm grip, I'm going to replace the forearm grip too. So if this is a project that you're looking to do, follow along. Another thing right off the bat, I'm not going to get into making this a detailed video on how to strip down or break down a Mossberg 500. There are millions of those out there, and I'm sure these guys do a better job than I did. So there's going to be a lot of cutaways. I don't think you really need to watch me unscrew things. And to be honest, if I have to explain to you the concept of lefty-loosey and righty-tighty, you shouldn't be firing guns or even owning guns as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to talk over a lot of this and just assume that you know what I'm doing. To take the stock off, I'm going to these two screws here. Then I'm going to stick a long screwdriver down that hole and remove this. For those of you who like watching people stick long screwdrivers down holes, I'm sorry, but I'm going to cut away from that now because it really makes a very boring video. And it's off. So here you go. There's the old stock. Comes off very easily. There's another reason why I did that first. It's because I have to do a pretty detailed disassembly to get this off, and the trigger group comes out a lot easier with the stock already off, that I've noticed. Before I even start that though, let's just make sure I'm not wasting my time, which I am not. Okay, this is gonna go good. Next, let's take off the barrel. Put that halfway, unscrew this, barrel comes off. Okay, very good. Then after that, I'm going to take my trusty Glock tool. There's one pin here that has to come out, and it usually comes out fairly easily. And I was right, comes out easily. And with that said, trigger group comes right out now that the stock is off. Once that happens, these things, I reach them. The cartridge interrupter and the cartridge stop, they just fall right out. As I learned, don't panic, they only go in one way. Next thing I have to do is I have to get the bolt carrier out, which you kind of move that forward. And she comes out just like that. Okay, I'm not going to go any further. I'm not going to take the bolt out or anything else because I don't have to. This is what I'm concerned with. I'm going to start this process of getting this off. I've seen some videos on how to remove this. I mean, right off the bat, this thing just does not want to come off. I saw one video where a guy just basically chiseled it to pieces and destroyed it. It struck me that that just couldn't be right. So I looked around and I came across another video. I'm so sorry if I'm not giving him credit. Maybe I'll post a note on as to who it was who showed this trick. And I'm actually very interested to see if it works for me. So let's see. I'm going to take my mass murderer knife and start this off. Obviously this thing unscrews. And it's a very, very, very fine thread. But he gave an interesting trick. I think someone might be looking for Rust-Oleum. He gave me a very interesting trick to how to get this off. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't work immediately, I'm going to stop the video and rip it to shreds. And I don't want you to see me curse. But what he did was he starts this nut going. He doesn't take it all the way off though, because you're going to put this down and hit it with a rubber mallet. At least I'm going to use a rubber mallet. And by keeping it on there, he's not risking damaging the end of the tube. Let's see. Son of a bitch. He was absolutely right. I'm absolutely, definitely going to give him credit to his channel because I tried to do this by eye before with, just trying to work this thing off, and it was not happening. So I'm going to continue this process. You don't need to see me do this. Actually, it just comes right off apparently. This comes right off. And the synthetic's going to go on. I'm going to open up this packaging and then come right back to the video. Well, that package was every bit as obnoxious as I thought it was going to be. But once I did get it open, this actually slid right on. So we're going to put this bad boy right back on. Hopefully I don't have to cut away again and do some cursing. Again, very, 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 very fine threads. So if I take my time here, you'll have to excuse me. I do not want to cross thread this thing. In fact, I'm going to stop camera and cut away again just to make sure so I can do this in the proper light. And then I'll cut back once it is. Because really it's just spinning this nut on, and how exciting is that? Okay, and I'm back. I didn't mean for this to be a two-part video. However, I had a catastrophic failure. My camera stopped. I'm using my phone for a camera, unfortunately, because I'm not a YouTube millionaire yet. And I took a phone call, and I thought I was going to be able to resume. But what I was actually doing was talking to nobody. So we'll pick up where I left off. As I said, it wasn't exciting at all to see me screw this back on. But it's on. I had already finished the video like I thought I was going to do, so that the project was done. Then I noticed I didn't record. So I'm bringing it back to almost where we were. I took the step out of the way of reassembling everything in the receiver. This wasn't supposed to be a disassembly video anyway, so you'll just have to take my word for it that the cartridge interrupter, the cartridge stop, the bolt carrier, they went in as expected. So here we are. So this is back together, waiting for the stock to go on. One good thing though, it did give me an opportunity to refresh my recollection as to what YouTube channel gave me the technique to replace this this forearm grip. The channel was Glory to America. He spells it with the actual number 2 in it. I don't know much about the channel or about the guy making the videos, but I will admit this was genius, because every other video I saw on it basically involved chiseling the old one off and destroying the part. So good job on his part, taking it off, loosening the screw a little bit, tapping it off, and then screwing it back on. Good job there. Okay, so now, here we are, back to this point. Let's pretend I reassembled it on camera, ready to put the stock on. Pretty simple. It comes without instructions, but I think we can all figure this out. Got a bolt, we got a washer. This is going to go on first by the use of an Allen key. It comes with some type of spacer or adapter, which apparently I don't need, so we'll put that off to the side. This, by the way, these parts were gotten, all of these parts were right off the Mossberg website. The forearm grip was for the 7 3/4 action. That part number is 95051 if you're interested. And this 6-position stock, the part number was 17616, all off the Mossberg site. Okay, so I predict this is not going to be a very difficult operation, but I've been wrong before. It seems to go on very easily. And we all know what kind of problems I have seeing. But I think and I promised I wasn't going to make you watch me screwing things in. Okay, let's make that reasonably tight. You know, okay, even as a stance of pistol grip, it's ugly on the end, but, you know, simplicity so far. This next piece is going to go on with what looks like a long carrier bolt, and it screws in on the other side. So, I can see why this doesn't come with instructions. Fit that through. Oh. Maybe not. Oh no, okay. Get that through. Let's persuade it a little bit. And with any luck, yeah, it's right there on the other side. Goes in with the help of a screwdriver. And I believe we're going to be wrapping this project up. Again, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to be a 2-part video. This is not a very difficult operation. But, you know, we do what we must, right? Okay, so, completed project. If you remember what the before was, this was your base Mossberg Model 500, purchased a very long time ago. It had the wood on the forearm and the wood stock. And now, it looks like this. You know, more functional. Definitely looks better. I like pistol grips on shotguns better anyway. And also it allows me, what I like is that this extra shell carrier came with it. And that's good because how as I said, this is a home defense gun. And I like to I like to have a shotgun for home defense by the bed a certain way. And that is with the safety off and the chamber empty. So how I do it is empty. I get that pulled. I tend to load one less than the magazine holds because I think these shotgun magazine tubes, I'd rather not keep them under that spring under that much pressure. It's a 5-round tube. I only put 4 in with an empty chamber, safety off. Okay, and that way, you know, if with a shotgun, I look at it as, if I'm in a situation where it's like, holy shit, I wake up and there's someone standing at the foot of my bed, I have, you know, any number of revolvers or pistols that I keep nearby that could be brought into instant action. A shotgun for me is, you hear a noise downstairs, you're going to go and investigate, you have time to get this. You'll have time to rack one in, and you could really just, you know, I could top off my magazine after I rack that round in, and then go investigate. You know, and also there's been some talk as to whether or not the sound of a shotgun slide being actuated has a psychological deterrent to somebody. Some people say yes, some people say no. I don't know. I don't have scientific facts on it, but personally, I think that's a pretty terrifying sound. If I'm in the house burglarizing or just doing some miscreant looking to cause some mischief, and a homeowner comes out and I hear him rack a shotgun, that's going to have an effect on me. I don't see how it couldn't. And also it serves as a warning. Maybe it's the dog. You know, maybe it's I don't know about a neighbor, maybe it's a family member coming to you for any reason. When you have time to grab a shotgun and rack the slide, you have time to maybe get that, even if it is someone robbing your house, give him a chance to run away. I mean, you know, I'm not interested in starring in my own action movie here. If he runs away without me having to fire a shot, great. You know, but if he chooses to stick around after I get up, rack the slide, top off my magazine, and then call the challenger, if he's going to stick around, well then maybe he needs to meet a shotgun. Well, in any case, that's the project. Very inexpensive. As you see, it didn't take very long at all. Well, actually, since I screwed up the video, it took 2 days. But actually, the whole thing would have only taken, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And the cost was very low. Leave any comments if you have any questions, especially about the parts or how to order them. And we'll leave it at that. Thank you. Signing off.